what that dang your hot, what that dang, and go dang your hot, oh, what that dang. This is the voice of the patriot. The voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. This is the headquarters of the truth, because we are not neutral. We have taken sides. The side of the truth. My name Blakk Rasta, and time now for action. Now today we have a number of issues to look at in our daily editorial, and I want to go straight to the point. I'm reading this from Ghana Web, and it says NPP set traps to harm President Mahama by pouring acid in presidential jet. And this is a gentleman called Owusu Banahene, alleging. Who is Owusu Banahene? I don't know him. Maybe you know him, but we will find out who he is. Watch out. Now, a government spokesperson, Kweku Owusu Banahene, so he's a government spokesperson, official. A government spokesperson, Kweku Owusu Banahene, has alleged that the previous administration of the New Patriotic Party set multiple traps for President John Dramani Mahama in a bid to harm him. Now, according to him, some NPP members poured acid on parts of the presidential jet to corrode vital components as part of their plot against the president. Without providing evidence, he added that after setting such traps, the NPP later insisted that President Mahama used the same jet for his official trips. Now, speaking in an interview on Angel TV on August 13, 2025, Banahene said, some of the issues have to do with the presidential jet we are now discussing. The NPP poured acid on all the pipes, and they are corroding. They set multiple traps for President Mahama on the presidential jet and then forced him to use it. That is why they opposed him using his brother's jet. His comment comes after the crash of the Z-9 helicopter, which belonged to the Ghana Armed Forces, that claimed the lives of Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omani Buama, Environment, Science and Technology Minister Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, and 6 others. In fact, when I hear things like this, my heart doesn't only skip a beat, it skips multiple beats. In fact, it looks like it is only in our country where forensics do not work. It looks like it is only in our country that security is a rag doll being wagged around, my brother, my sister, by little children in the play park. My brother, my sister, the presidential jet, somebody went in there with acid and nobody saw it. Where was the presidential jet parked? Do we have CCTV cameras in there or not? In and around the presidential jet. How many people are supposed to use the presidential jet? My brother, my sister, who is responsible for the upkeep and maintenance of the presidential jet? If we have answers to this, then we should not be going to the gallery with things like this. My brother, my sister, we were told that before the president even got into office, his security team found out that the presidential residence, the presidential palace, My brother, my sister, the so-called Jubilee House or Flagstaff House, depending on which party is in power, was heavily bogged. We were told that there were bugs that were planted in the walls and even under carpets and under tiles. My brother, my sister, what did we do to those who purposely did that? We just talked about it on radio and TV. We ranted and went to eat a benkwine and nkrakra and forgot about it. This is foolishness of the highest order. My brother, if your security is threatened, you must take it very seriously. How can I have box planted in my house, and once I get rid of the box, I think that everything is done? The enemy is still on the loose and can return anytime. My brother, my sister, I am pained so much to hear things like this. Remember, this is the first gentleman of the land. He is the president of the country, in whom majority of Ghanaians have given their trust to be able to steer this ship out of the turbulent waters. If his life is threatened, the life of the nation is threatened. For me to sit back here and hear security people around the president lamenting how bugs were planted in the presidential palace, the offices of the president, my brother, my sister. And for that matter, he had to operate from private offices till all the bugs were dealt with. Did we go to the bottom of this? Did we find out who did that? Is it difficult to find out this? This is more than easy to find out if we truly take our forensics seriously. It doesn't take a day to plant 100 bugs, let alone 1,000 bugs. And yet, we swept all these things under the carpet till a Z9 helicopter, military style, crashed. Are we a serious nation? We have a minister for what? Security. We have so many security apparatuses in our country, and we cannot locate who planted what box in the president's offices. Now we are hearing another story. And this story is that the previous party that was in power, the NPP, noted for its wickedness, even in the days of Kwame Nkrumah, poured acid into the pipes of the presidential jet and intentionally pushed the president to fly in the presidential jet. My brother, my sister, who did that? Who is responsible for dealing with the maintenance of the presidential jet? Should we not start arresting some people and investigating them seriously? What are the forensics saying? If you are able to tell that acid was poured in the pipes of a presidential jet, it shouldn't be difficult for us to trace who put it there. My brother, this is more than just a dastardly act. It is worse than a heinous crime. In fact, it is mass murder. Who wants the president dead? My brother, you see, Aboabe Kawa, when they wanted to see Nkrumah dead, it didn't only take the insiders, the outsiders also came up. I said it right at the beginning. Any president who holds on to the tenets of Pan-Africanism is a threat to the West. We shouldn't see the West as innocent. My brother, my sister, who wants the president dead? Why does he want the president dead? This president came into power. He has dismantled the strongholds of the dollar. Something that has not happened in the country for so many years. This president has become the toast of so many Ghanaians. In fact, they are almost beginning to call him the Messiah of the economy after just 7 months of being in power. Anybody that is not patriotic would want to see this president go down. My brother, my sister, this president is also holding on strong to the tenets of Pan-Africanism, the ideologies of Kwame Nkrumah. And if you are an Nkrumahist, you are a threat to the West. Remember when the West plotted and dismantled the foundations of Kwame Nkrumah and finally had him assassinated, albeit tactfully. My brother, my sister, I will just send a small piece of message to the president. Mr. President, as long as you see yourself as a Pan-Africanist, holding on strong to the ideologies of Kwame Nkrumah, please, you would immediately become an enemy to many, inside and outside, within and without. Mr. President, can I still go on? It is so lame and weak like carbonic acid for your security people and also communicators to keep lamenting and ranting. What work are they doing to accost all these perpetrators of these crimes? I am tired of hearing, oh, the place was bugged. Oh, they poured acid here. Oh, they did this. Oh, they planted explosives on the Z9 aeroplane and blah, 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 boom, 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 boom. Who are the perpetrators? Is it so easy to have access to any plane in Ghana, including the presidential jet? Is the security that weak? When we do this, we expose ourselves to ridicule. The NPP carried acid into the presidential jet and fed it into the pipes. First and foremost, who is in charge of the maintenance? Find him. Find him. My brother, my sister, deal with him, and names will come out. I'll leave it here. Another thing I want to look out for is this one from Ghana Web. And today when I saw the story, something said, Blakk Rasta, don't look at this. It's not very important. But upon hindsight and in retrospection, I have decided that I'll deal with it. U.S. Embassy allegedly declines responsibility for retired U.S. soldier hospitalized in Ghana. I read. Now, the American embassy has declined to take responsibility for a retired U.S. Army officer currently receiving treatment at Bloom Medical Center in Accra. Now, the officer, Ambari Harold Eugene, was first admitted to Nabita Hospital in Tema before being transferred to Bloom Medical Center. Now, according to hospital officials, his landlord brought him to the initial facility in a critical condition, but has since refused to resume or assume any financial responsibility. Management at Bloom Medical Center reports that it has spent over 100,000 American dollars on Eugene's treatment, excluding the cost of meals and other expenses. Now, the patient reportedly has a strong preference for fast food, choosing meals from KFC and hamburgers over locally prepared Ghanaian dishes. The hospital spends 500 Ghana cedis daily on his meals of KFC and hamburgers. When denied his preferred food, I take it again. When denied his preferred food, Eugene allegedly defecates on himself and roams the wards, making noise and disregarding hospital protocols. Mr. Laurencio Eugene Lille, country director for Bloom Medical Hospital, stated that the hospital promptly informed the American embassy about the veteran's condition. Embassy representatives visited the facility, gathered information, and had management sign certain documents. However, The embassy later declined to cover Eugene's medical expenses or assume financial responsibility, explaining that they could not do so because his stay in Ghana was not officially sanctioned by the U.S. government. So this is a retired American soldier who has lived in Ghana for 5 years. And all the 5 years he has lived in Ghana, he's never been used to banku and tilapia soup. He has never been used to eating fufu and abenkwai. He's never been used to eating tuonzafi and miankuka or fetridechi with akble. My brother, my sister, according to this report, the American embassy signed documents. Can we know exactly what the documents were about? Did the documents say that they were responsible for the bills of the gentleman? If that is so, then the courts are just a stone throw away. My brother, my sister, can we look at it deeper? Now, this gentleman here only eats KFCs and hamburgers. He is, in fact, a premium patient. And he's lived in Ghana for 5 years. Now, the website has published the American passport page, the bio page of this patient. And what the hospital is saying is, if we let him out, he will die. He was brought here on life support. Why would the Americans abandon their own? What kind of documents did they sign to be able to make them responsible for whatever is going on? My brother, my sister, we need to go deeper into some of these things and find out exactly what it is. This is a troublesome patient. He has no money. His rent is running out in just 1 month. Therefore, his stay in Ghana would make him a roaming non-resident in the country. And he is in Ghana with an American passport. What are the Americans doing? Can they not at least ship him back to America? Now, information here is that this patient has chosen to live in Ghana. And if he has chosen to live in Ghana, is it not his right to do so? Why would the American embassy abandon a man who has served the army and he got retired officially? These are the questions we should ask ourselves. Now, the hospital has spent over 100,000 American dollars on his treatment alone. As for the KFC and hamburgers, they have not added that. I'm sure you are waiting for me to drop the bomb. If this was a Ghanaian, my brother, my sister, hey, your great-grandfather can resurrect and come and sign papers. Your mother and father can come and sign papers. Your pastor or imam can come and sign papers. The hospital will never treat you until you pay cash. But it's an American. They trust the Americans more. So they will continue to spend money on KFC and hamburgers. My brother, if we had a patient in any of our hospitals who said that he could only eat KFC and hamburgers, I'm sure it will be headlines all over Ghana that this is a guy who is not sick. He just wants to eat good. What point is Blakk Rasta making? The way the hospital has treated this patient, ask yourself, if it was a Ghanaian, would they have done same? Spent about 100,000 American dollars, not received a penny, and still spending. Will they do that for a Ghanaian? Yet this is a Ghanaian hospital. Now, what is this thing I am hearing about health insurance? Today, somebody called me and said our health insurance does not cover everything health. There are some things, some treatments that the health insurance does not cover. Is it true or false? Of course it is true. And the most ridiculous part of it is even common things like scans. You are supposed to pay cash. Health insurance doesn't cover that. Some of these basic things that are supposed to be able to tell your diagnosis, they say you have to pay cash before that thing works. Finally, there are a number of days you can sleep on the hospital bed on admission, and the health insurance would cover that. After a number of days, you have to pay as if you were in a hotel. What a mockery of a health insurance. So if they take you first 3 days, 4 days, health insurance will take care of your bed. After that, you pay as if you were at moving peak. Any food you eat, you pay. My brother, my sister, they say mens sano corpore sano. A sound mind is in a sound body. If your body is sick, it would have started with a sick mind. All these things can depress you. Now, many people might not take this seriously because they don't really get sick and go to the hospital. They are young. Now, when you start falling ill and going to the hospital, that is when you will see the importance of this health insurance, especially where we live in a country where people can eat fufu at 1 a.m. People can eat banku and fatiridechi at 12 midnight. People can eat all sorts of meat, from dog meat, cat meat, pork, worms, and even animal excreta, aka akrantie. Human beings eat animal excreta in Ghana. Go to Ashanti region. It's kings who eat that. Animal excreta. Are you in your right senses? This is the excreta of an animal, for crying out loud. Then you cook it into a soup. And then you eat it and call it tradition. What sickness is that? Some people's favorite is dogs. Some other people eat cats. They eat pigs, grasshoppers, worms, aka akokono. And you expect that to be healthy. Until we start looking at our food very carefully. Yesterday I was reading something. He said that shisha and alcohol, in fact, they are the biggest killers in Ghana right now. And oral sex. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oral sex. What is that? What is oral sex? I don't know. It is what? What is that? Can you explain to me? Oral sex. And the doctor says it gives cancer of the mouth and throat. I don't know. I know what alcohol is. I know what shisha is. But I don't know what oral sex is. Can somebody educate me? What is that? My brother, my sister, what we eat kills us. We drink too much alcohol, smoke too much. We eat all kinds of animals. Animals that Satan himself will refuse to eat. I leave it here. Now the final thing I would like to look at is also taken from Ghana Web and is most interesting. It says, make a serious example out of them. Kwesi Pratt reacts to viral threats on the life of President Mahama. And I read, veteran journalist Kwesi Pratt Jr. has urged the state to make an example out of some individuals who have threatened the life of President John Dramani Mahama and his spouse in a viral TikTok video. Now, according to Kwesi Pratt, punishment of the culprits would serve as a deterrent for others. I think they should make a serious example out of them. I mean, this is not a matter to be treated lightly. Threatening people with death. It doesn't even matter if the person is being threatened is not the president. I think we should make a serious example of these people. Foolishness. Just take a video of yourself threatening to kill the president, put his body in a cocoa sack, throw him away, and behead his wife. What? Who will tolerate this? In which country would this be tolerated? I think we should make a very serious example of these people. He fumed. My brother, my sister.
Yabo! Yabo!
We remember the Muntie 4, was it 3? Muntie 3. They were put behind bars for threatening judges. In fact, the threats included bodily harm, rape, so on and so forth. The Muntie boys, my brother, my sister, were bundled up under the watch of John Dramani Mahama. He couldn't do anything. They rolled them up and locked them up. And when they came out, after getting a certain presidential pardon, which many people opposed, they have never been the same from that time. They were communication boys of their party, the NDC. They were so frustrated, they decided to vent their spleen on judges they believed were biased. My very good friend Mugabe was part of the Mugabe Mase of Gumbe Gumbe fame. They bundled him up, locked him up with 2 others. They sent apologies left, right, and center, begging that what they said was wrong. But it didn't save them. They were locked up for several weeks. When they returned, they never were the same. Mugabe Mase was refused a British visa, and all the other ones were blacklisted for travel. If you can threaten judges with bodily harm, then you have no business coming to our country. You will bring the same behavior. And we all heard John Benjamin say that plainly on Twitter at the time. Mugabe fought back. Even though he had his family in the UK, they would just have to make do with Zoom. Look at each other's faces and say, I love you, I love you. But a physical hug and a physical kiss, no! The British people in Ghana, headed by John Benjamin as the consulate or the consular, refused all the Muntie boys. Today, somebody is saying in a viral TikTok video that he will kill the president, bundle him up in a cocoa sack. Why cocoa sack? Because the Z9 helicopter crashed and the victims were carried in cocoa sacks. Oh, what a shame. My brother, my sister. And the fact that cocoa farmers are presently not too happy that the president hasn't fulfilled yet his promise after 7 months only of being in power. So this person says he will kill the president, bundle him up in a cocoa sack and look for the wife of the president and behead her, like Al Qaeda style. They have been arrested, we are told. Kwesi Pratt says, make a good example out of this. I support this 100%. My brother, I am fed up with people just putting some cheap China camera on themselves. China phone camera. My brother, my sister. And ranting. You can rant, you can complain. But when you start issuing threats, you must know that your freedom ends where somebody else's nose begins. Hallelujah. My brother, my sister, you want to kill the president. After this helicopter scare that we were told the president was supposed to be part of, the man is already traumatized. He's asking all prophets to feel free and come and talk to him. My brother, my sister, do you think these are normal times? And an idiot can put a cheap China phone camera on himself and threaten to kill the president and behead his wife. My brother, let them go to jail. When they go to jail and they are sodomized by some of the worst criminals there, when they come out, they will learn some common sense. It hurts. Sometimes I go on social media and I see things that break my heart. Yes, somebody will fell down all these cocoa trees and tell you the hey cocoa no me ana me dua ye. Me see me pebio me di be galamsey. Such a person should be shot. Shoot them. Shoot them. My brother, galamsey is a crime. If you are felling your cocoa trees, it's onto you. That is your problem. You can complain, but when you say that the next action is a crime, then we must look for you. Galamsey is mass murder. If a man says he's going to plant explosives in an aeroplane, let a bullet journey through his mind. Let a bullet journey through his head. Bury him in a shallow, unmarked grave before he puts his plan into action. How many people agree with me? My brother, my sister. Yesi enifra ni si obetu bo abowa. Hwehunye na ne nansi obo so. He's laughing at my tree. Don't worry. When a blind man says he will stone you, don't take it for granted. His leg is on a stone. Hallelujah. The stone probably is even in his pocket. My brother, my sister, all he needs to do is to reach out to it, and from the sound of your voice, he can locate you. Yes. My brother, my sister, let's think about this very seriously. Let these people be punished. Sometimes I go on social media and what I see, I say, yay, Rade. I never knew we'll reach here. People boasting of how much they have destroyed our land with galamsey. And they are boasting that no security, whoever, can catch them. After all, they have all of them in their pockets. In the voice of Nyantechi, who had the president and his vice in his pockets. Hallelujah. To God be the glory. May the country continue to grow better. May God protect the president. May his security around him open their eyes even wider. My brother, my sister, it looks like we are too lenient with our security. I like how Jatta George, Sam George, is dealing with the airwaves. I like how Raymond Archer is dealing with some of these issues bordering corruption and criminality. I leave it here.